Good morning, traders. Steve Federal here with FXESTrader.com. I'm the managing partners running the room this morning. Wanted to say welcome, good morning. If you guys are joining us a bit late, got a little bit of a late start here. I wanted to see what was going to be said by Bernanke this morning. He certainly is going to be talking. He's been talking the market up most of the morning. Rather dovish comments, but no surprise, and we've certainly been prepared for that. Let's go ahead and get the review started before the market opens up here so we can get a feel for what's going on. Yesterday we had, as you can see here, a fairly large engulfing candle. Took place over the last 2 days. We formed a single at the 1672 area. I mean, obviously it doesn't preclude us from going up, as we certainly did on Bernanke's comments this morning. Had a pretty decent stop run that I had alerted you guys about yesterday to be on alert for if you're going to be trading a Globex, especially since we have formed a number of ledges up here at the high. So with that in mind, I'm going to actually be looking for what's called an outside in trade. So I want to see us get back into yesterday's value, which is the magenta area here on the market profile chart to the left. Charts are kind of small, so maybe I'll just go ahead and open them up. But looking at the charts, they have really an odd shape as far as the Globex session that we're looking at here. I haven't seen this shape in quite a while. It's actually quite strange, but let me just go ahead and expand it out a little bit easier to see. But essentially, I'd be looking for a short here off the open at 1679. We had a really good day yesterday in the room, getting two shorts off of the retraces back to, as you can see, the R bracket here, back to the 1672 area where the singles had formed originally. Took both of those shorts and both paid anywhere between 3 to 4 points, which was excellent. So I'm going to be a little more hesitant today, more of a condensed or concentrated value area during the Globex session. As you can see, the volume value area is represented by the brown bracketed area. A little more expanded out, but I think that the market, if we do attempt the double top formed yesterday with a fairly engulfing candle we can see on the composite. Note the 1674 and the 1670, and obviously the most important, if we're going to be headed down, is the 1667 area. Albeit I am going to be on the lookout for the immediate rip through the highs, which has a distinct possibility this morning. So we'll go ahead and look at the footprint and see how that's going to materialize in order to get a feel for how that's going to play out. So I'm recording this morning's session on Camtasia. I know a number of guys had sent me emails saying they can't be in the room, so I figured I'd go ahead and record this for first 20 to 30 minutes so we can see what played out. I'll go ahead and put the recording up in the members only section so that you guys can see that for how they open. But just note the composite. If we go back into the review just quickly this morning before the open, hope you guys have all had a chance to see that. So let me switch over to the review. I basically said, Bernanke's going to be talking. Futures are currently trading, right where they are pretty much right now at the 1678 area. So the 2-day high is obviously the double top. Will we try and break that? I'm not really sure. I'm going to be looking for a short off the open. But we, pretty much stopped short again from the top. The inventory is actually net short, even though we're trading at the high end of the range because of the simple fact we spent so much time trading inside value below that. So, it definitely could fuel the fire for a rip through the highs at 1680, which I'll be on high alert for. So essentially the lower rectangle really putting together another test, in my opinion, of the 1667 area at some point, and certainly the ball could be in motion for filling both the 11th and 10 gaps. And as you guys have read in many of these previous reviews, I have not liked the structure that I've seen. So today's numbers, be on alert for, again, the high 1679, 80-ish area. We want to be on alert for the singles that it formed yesterday that have already both been filled, so we can actually erase those from our number sheets. and at the low volume that we saw. So let's go ahead and monitor the open here. Bell just dang. See where we are. Something's telling me I want to be short because I think this move is mostly BS off the open. We'll see. I have no positions on at the moment. Yes, good morning all. Yeah, I will. Tim, I sent everything out there a little bit later today. I know you guys have a bunch of questions, and we can certainly get those addressed, but let's focus on the market here this morning, see what we're doing. I know a number of you are already short. Yes, all the numbers are posted, Frank. Yeah, you're welcome. It was an excellent day yesterday. Okay, so essentially we're still an open auction in range this morning. I'm watching the 73.50 zone carefully. Likely to stalk along down there at the singles if we can get back down there. Not really sure though. This is just a strange structure as far as the Globex formation, but I do want to be on alert for the fact that we have a number of news stories coming out this morning. So looking that it's potentially, evident we may shoot up through the new highs. Note also that so far that the 5-year highs have often been met with vigorous selling after floating up there for a bit. So seeing a key measured move level of 1708 above. So the short-term projections would be 1685 and a quarter. And also note that 1670 is the center or POC point on the composite. And that would be the 4 days that we've spent balancing up in this area, especially since we're opening up so dead. Let me just jump over the composite. So you can see the micro composite that I've drawn here over the last 5 sessions, including today, the POC at 1670. So just be on alert for that. I had failed to mention that in the morning review. Euro's been somewhat erratic, spiky. Keep in mind also, I haven't been as focused on the Euro trades, but just quickly, here's the composite. If you guys want to take a closer look at that. Yeah, I changed the definitions around a little bit, Tom, so it'll go out a little later this afternoon. I may even post it in the members only section. I haven't taken a close look at oil. I know it's getting some questions on that. I think I'm more focused on this ES trade. Maybe kind of wishing I was short here. Keep in mind those LVNs and HVNs as well, guys. We weren't able to get above today's opening print off the open, but we're opening and auctioning in a tight range as far as our open type this morning. Just go through, see what's going on Twitter here. Making sure I'm catching everything for you guys. So looking like 77 and 3/4 to 76 and a quarter is the opening range. Here we go. Let's see if we can make an attempt here. Let's drag over the footprint so we can keep an eye on that. This is the footprint with the new imbalance algo built into it. You can see by the colors. I can go into the detail of this a little bit later. But essentially this is a really slick new tool for keeping a better eye on order flow. So as we have a potential footprint bid versus ask, top bracket, top box versus bottom, you can see here the 39.58 is an imbalance to the buy side versus the short imbalance or the seller imbalance at 8.39. So Okay, so it looks like the ES is trying to make an attempt at the high, and if you guys have imported your numbers into the profile charts, you can see here on the left, we still need to break yesterday's high, so we're attempting, albeit with not a lot of volume, we're attempting to try and go up and auction to the high to see where we are. You can see the imbalance 26 by 1092. It's an imbalance to the sell side. Not much being hit as far as the bid up there. No surprise. Sort of back down, bouncing in our little mini range here. Keep in mind those single prints, obviously, from yesterday, 72 3/4 and 74 1/4. Both technically have been filled, albeit in the Globex session. So, auction market theory would certainly dictate that, hell, if we try and get down there again, I know the longs are going to try and probably bounce it. I still think it'd be the best trade being short up here at this point. Very similar to yesterday, but I don't have a really good feel for this. Since we've had a real good couple weeks in room trading, I'm much more picky with these trades. So I'd love to see a quick burst up to the high, getting a good tick spike, and then shorting that on the pop, especially if we have an imbalance reversal or a delta divergence reversal on that. Not seeing anything as far as spikes on the tick chart, but we want to keep a close eye on that. Yes, good morning, Tim. Yeah, you're welcome. I know that a number of you guys had taken that trade yesterday, and this particular area here at 72 3/4 had really been an excellent short twice. I was really expecting us to sort of settle out around the 1667 level. But the beauty is we got essentially two shots down on this. And I really want to see again, for those joining us late, if you haven't seen my review, I posted the review at about 15 after the hour at 9 a.m. I was spending most of the time just going through because there's been just a huge squeeze up in the Globex session to where we are now based on a lot of comments coming out of Europe. So I had to spend a good 15 minutes going through that and making sure, wish I was long on the break, but also going through and making sure that, taking a shot at the high again was the wise thing to consider. I still think it is, but I'm not short this. I would love to see just a quick tick spike up to the high, and from there. Now, for those joining us late, I actually did record the first 15 minutes of our morning prep. If you care to watch the review, anything later than today's trade, I'm not sure how we're going to sort of settle out at the top here, but I know a number of you couldn't get into the room until later, so I reset everything in GoToMeeting again. It seems to be working fine now, so let me know if anything's not showing up right. Can you see the charts now? Okay, so haven't really missed anything. had the Globex spike up this morning. It's funny. I should probably just start this review it and right after the market opens up and just talk while we're trading if nothing is going on, because nobody have joined us late today, so including myself. So I didn't post the review this morning until later. This squeeze had caught a lot of us by surprise. I wasn't long or short or anything, but I had a feeling some of Ben's comments this morning winding up to be fairly dovish. Really, I actually thought this area was going to hold. I really did. We formed 2 singles in the RTH session. If you guys look at the numbers I posted in the members only section, I expected this to hold. I really did. So I think a lot of shorts are a bit caught as well, and maybe that's the reason some of these volumes off the open haven't really been that strong. It's almost like we'll gap up. Hopefully we're gapped up and we can see a bit of a reversal instead of just holding this area all day. The longer time we spend auctioning up in this area, the more of a shot we got to go up and blast through all the piles of stops that are up there. But stops or not, the footprint's still showing us that there are, that there's not a lot of interest above this area still, just like yesterday. Let me clear out all this stuff. So for those of you that came in late from Market Delta, support notice: if you're having trouble launching Trader, contact support and we can fix. Otherwise, an update will be issued shortly. Okay, cool. So for those of you guys using the Trader system this morning, as I heard yesterday for the Market Delta folks, we have an update coming, which is cool. I don't know what they're going to address. It seems to be running fine, but I noticed this morning the automatic updater was not looking for an update. It got an error message. Maybe that's why we're seeing that. Again, if you guys are using Market Delta or IRT, these guys are really good about putting updates out on Twitter. So if you have a live feed coming in, there's usually a number of tweets these guys will post the changes and what's going on. So doing a little bit of back testing on all of the imbalanced stuff here, and really some good stuff. I've gone back and, man, I'll tell you, this imbalance is just turning out to be an awesome little tool in seeing changes here. It's not giving us much right now, other than what the normal footprint would. I'm actually going to be combining these 2 charts. The tech guys are finding a way to do what's called an indicator combination for me, because I hate having these 2 windows. It drives me nuts. But I wanted to... I haven't really addressed getting them combined, so I took a screenshot yesterday and shipped it off to Ryan, who's one of the developers of Market Delta, and he's going to see if he can combine these 2. I would love to have the colors just carry over, and the colors make changes. So instead of the black, I would have the colors for imbalances coming into this chart, and we could do away with the black background one. All right, so let's I think as soon as I try and drag another window in here, this thing's going to try and zap up, and I need to be thinking about this short. But all right, get another update here. Papers, light buyers off the open. Internal still bullish. Market shows in balance, obviously, and standby. I guess since Bernanke's going to be testimony, it's standby. Keep in mind, if you guys haven't caught the numbers so far, again, here's the numbers. I'll keep the screen up for a little bit. The best thing to do, if you guys haven't already downloaded it, if you have a good Snagit system, that's cool. I far prefer this little thing at the top. This is what's called Snagit. It's an awesome program by TechSmith. They're the same guys that are the developers of Camtasia as well as Screencast. You've probably seen some stuff that was shot with Camtasia uploaded to Screencast. But it also does a fantastic job of just running a quick movie. The settings are easy, plus you can just snag the screen. The beauty is you can manage all of that stuff inside your history. So as I often suggest, take quick screenshots of stuff and save it in your trading file, or if whatever your filing system is on a cloud or what have you. but I think this stuff's pretty slick. Allows you to take quick, fast, real good high-def screenshots. I'll do it. So, as my sneaking suspicion was this morning, I really wanted to see us short, and so far that's paying off. Unfortunately, I'm not on the damn trade. Notice some of the imbalances here. Let me just get this window in view. Notice some of the imbalances that was sort of our alert at both of these peaks up here. So I think eventually, once the testing's done, it's going to probably show that, provided we see a pretty significant imbalance, is looking to me like anything more than 300% as a comparison to the upper bracket would probably be a good safe trade to take in whatever direction that's starting to show. Good morning, Scott. You're welcome. Good to see you were on it and I wasn't, so you took advantage of it, my brother. Yeah, and if I haven't addressed any of you guys' other questions, we'll go through them this morning, but we're all getting sort of to the game a little bit late this morning, and I have not had an opportunity to get on this short. I was not trading Globex. I was quite surprised by the squeeze, but again, direction of the squeeze being up, I guess not a surprise if you look at the concentration of value that it built in this section. It leads to a very easy determination that there's a pile of stops up here that needed to be gone after, so to speak. That siren you heard is the euro breaking a low volume node at 3150. I'm going to move this over. That's a good idea. Oil's breaking lower if you guys are noting the chart. 105.75 right now. Just keep in mind, oil has that same poor structure and all those gap ups that we've seen, but we spent an inordinate amount of time balancing all the way under that 98 and 99 levels, and thus breaking close to almost $2 higher right out of the gate. Why am I not short the ES? Todd, that is a great question. And since Todd does not ask many questions when he usually does, it's telling me that it was glaringly obvious that I should have been short. And see, but just think, Todd, I did it for you guys in the room here because I was more interested in getting all the analysis and stuff out, and I should have just been short, huh? I mean, in all fairness to me, I actually thought we were going to go up and tag the 1680 area, in which case I wouldn't have been too picky to try and get on the trade up there, but I would have just grabbed it. Okay, so coming down into the singles, this is the first area that we've launched out of. This was also an important area of defense yesterday by the shorts. Let's see if we can bounce. If we go cleanly through this area, I would not be taking any longs because I would almost be willing to bet the big money's going to try and go for 1667 low. So just a heads up on that. Value area highs, you can see here, 1672.50, right where the singles formed. Second set of singles you can see here on this black line, 1674.25. This is probably the first place, especially in the fact it's in addition to is an LVN. Let me just grab the pen real quick. Low volume node. VWAP. Take a closer look. Fair amount down here hitting the bid, as you guys can see. Let me see if I can expand this out a little bit. These numbers a little bit bigger. The other reason I want to combine these is I do not need this profile here. It's unnecessary. I have it on two other windows. The way to get rid of it. So far, buyers coming in attempting to bounce off this level. Don't feel comfortable taking a long here. I still think we need to go back down and gap fill, which is only 3.5 points away, and then maybe I'd be a little more comfortable taking a small long. Alright, so I'm just ripping through Twitter right now, seeing what's going on. Anything out of the ordinary? I mean, I'm not really seeing anything. Looking like two-way action so far. Again, seeing how most of these imbalances are to the sell side versus a smaller bid. So, number of imbalances hitting on the offer still has me believe we need to be seeing this going lower. For those of you who joined us late, I did some measured moves. So in case they decide to rip this up, the key measured move level is 1708.25 if we're to blast through up here. Short-term projection 1685. Might want to make a note of that. I'll put that in the window here. Alright, 1708. So far they're bouncing us. For anybody that took the 1674, you certainly would have gotten a fill. I would be looking to at least have a good chunk of this off, at least half trade size at 1677. I know a couple of you took the trade. Scott, are you light on this trade size? Okay. keep in mind there's a whole bunch of new people in the room. If you folks have any questions on anything, please ask. I would suggest asking questions and trying to get a feel for whether this is a fit for you or not. We are the 25 of us that are in this room. We are a fairly specific type of trader. We use very specific type of softwares. You probably heard me exhaustively talk about yesterday. I'm not going to go through that again. It may or may not be a fit for you guys. So, but I have found that in the very beginning when I was teaching myself, and very lucky to be inside a market profile room only, and this was before they came out with the footprint chart, I was an absolute sponge, guys. I asked massive amounts of questions of the right people in the room. And it led me to some great relationships that I still hold today with many of the traders that I work with, not only here in SoCal, but folks in Europe that I trade with, guys that trade spot that I don't trade, and some of the other stuff. So, if you're serious about becoming a consistently profitable trader, if you're not already there, then I would suggest, as far as your dedication or learning curve, and however strong that may or may not be depending on the time you have, ask away, ask tons of questions, deluge me with questions, if you will. 60% of the time we're sitting around bored trading. This is one of the reasons I decided to open up this whole plan and build us all out, because I want to get a good global trading desk. And many of you have caught things that I've missed, and that's really what we're looking to take away from this room. So I always think that the folks that aren't participating, and you're happy to get on the mic too if you want to. I usually open up the mic session a little bit later once we've cooled out. But since we started somewhat of a new class yesterday, I haven't had the mic open. But if you guys want to take the mic, certainly feel free. Just let me know. And I'm going to caution you guys too, if you're just looking to be in this room to see me call out trades, I can only fish for you so much. If you're just looking to get out of the room, which I know a few of you are, me keeping you out of the way of problems in your trading, that's fine too. Glean from it what you will. But I find the folks that are in this room, I encourage most of them to be, active on Twitter with their comments. That way everybody can see them versus this room, which the comments are somewhat limited. So, still not seeing any trade being facilitated to any large degree in any given direction here. Still sort of chopping around. Still looking for gap fill, but maybe a high energy move back up, a rotation back up to the top here with some decent tick spikes, which we have not seen. Maybe yield us a better short if we're going to get some more energy. Yes, we had notes on the volume here. I see had a little over 1.1 million shares trade yesterday, so it was a very light day.